I'm Abrielle Millett for BYU-Idaho Radio, and I'm here today on the phone with the Tabernacle Choir of Temple Square's marketing director, Kelly Taylor. Before we get into this exciting concert that the Tabernacle Choir is doing, can you tell us a little bit about yourself so the audience can get to know you?
Yeah, happy to. Thanks for having me join you today. So I joined the Tabernacle Choir about 3.5 years ago. Prior to that point, they didn't really have much of a staff that helped the choir. It was very small. But around 3.5, 4 years ago, they kind of changed the structure of the choir. Uh, they called a presidency, which includes former Governor Mike Leavitt, right? Whitney Clayton as a counselor and Gary Porter as a counselor. And that's the first time the choir had a presidency. They also hired a managing director and turned the choir into a department of the church. And that's where they posted for my position. I had been doing uh, marketing for many, many years and had a conversation with somebody at one point. I was doing a lot of pro bono um, kind of consulting work for nonprofits. And they said, you should really see if you can't work for the church. And I said, the church doesn't have marketing people. We're missionaries. And anyway, one thing led to the next, and I was able to interview for the job and got it. So it's been a fun ride ever since. I'll tell you, the choir is incredibly busy and have only been doing even more every year. So my background is marketing and design. I went to college as an art major, but then throughout my career, found myself doing marketing for different kinds of companies, and like I said, started doing a lot of work for the nonprofit side of things because I was missing that element of doing some good in the world. A lot of times marketing stuff is done and then thrown away after a busy weekend, after an event or something.
Hmm.
So this was a way to get involved and do something that had a little more meaning.
Yeah, that's super exciting to have like a presidency, and that they're doing so much more. I guess
Yeah.
what do they have you specifically do as like a marketing director? What kind of role does that play with the choir?
Yeah, it's interesting. I talk to other people and they're like, what do you mean marketing? You're not selling anything. And so I get it. It's a little different, but I like to say that what we do is radiate what the choir does. The choir is made up of volunteers. Actually, they're all, although they're volunteers, they're all called as missionaries for the church as well. So all the choir members and orchestra members are set apart as missionaries, but they all have regular lives too. So they're still professionals and still have jobs and do other things. And so the amount of time we get with the choir is what we can get them to do is pretty finite, right? There's a limit in how much we can stretch these guys to do stuff because they're performing every Sunday, right, for music and the spoken word, which
Hmm.
means every Thursday we're doing rehearsal for that. Then we start looking at all of the other events and things that we're doing. Um, the idea of my position was to say, hey, when we have the choir doing something, how can we make others aware of their efforts, right? And can we expand our audience now that digital is such a great way to go? Could we increase our footprint throughout the world and have more people experience what the choir is doing instead of just those who can, let's say, show up in person on a Sunday morning here in the Wasatch Front, right, and watch music in the spoken word, or tune in on a radio station or a television station to do that. So, um, yeah, so my job has been to figure out how do we take the events that we do as an organization and the product that we have, the choir itself, how do we make that more accessible? How do we get that in front of more people so that more people can make a choice, right, to include the music from the choir in their life and hopefully find that peace and direction that they can get when they listen to this kind of music.
Yeah, like you said, I feel like music is such a powerful uh testimony. It's something that really helps people, and like you said, they're missionaries, and you guys or you radiate what the choir already does. I love
Yeah.
uh how you referred to it. I think that's a beautiful way to say of how your guys' jobs correlate and how it really spreads the gospel because music is, I would say, one of the most powerful ways to speak truth and to build hope. And this benefit concert is one of the themes that it has is hope, right? What is the exact
Yeah.
title for it?
So our world tour, which started 3 years ago, we started in Mexico, but it's been called Songs of Hope. And so, like you mentioned, there's the world itself is it's a rough space for people, and I'd say even more so since COVID. We've become more isolated, more anxious, more worrisome, and finding peace in a world that's just jam packed with information, right? We're constantly being fed all the time information, with social media and just the way news is spread now and everything else. I mean, it's a barrage of stuff. It's almost something you can't get away from, right? And it comes at such a fast pace, and it's just quick, quick, quick. And you miss one piece, and that anxiety of missing out and not maybe fully understanding. It's messing with people's lives pretty good. Um, and when you start talking about the choir, I would say if anybody took the time to just turn off their phone, put anything down, and just listen to one song, even all the way through, without anything else going on, I almost guarantee they would be forced to find some peace. Um, they would feel differently if they made the time for that. And so what's great about this concert that we have coming up and what we've been doing throughout the world is packaging up what the choir offers, which is missionaries testifying right through music and through song, which allows the Spirit to work with people on where they're at and where they're at in their lives, and helping them find peace and answers and a connection to the divine. And we're just excited to be in California at the Hollywood Bowl. It's a big deal. It's pretty historic for us as well. But part of it is as a kind of a culmination of things that we've learned throughout the world as we've gone on this tour.
Yeah, that's beautifully said. Is the Hollywood Bowl like the final concert of the tour, or is it going to still be continuing throughout the world?
It'll still continue. We'll have a bit of a break though with the celebration of the temple open house there, in Salt Lake City with the temple next year. We're not traveling next year, so we'll just be here. So there'll be a little bit of a pause before we pick up again in 28 with things. So it's a bit of a capstone, a little bit on what we've done so far. But no, we still plan to go and take that message. And I think Songs of Hope, the title itself, it just lends itself really well to no matter where we go. People are looking for that. People are looking for a bit of hope, right? A little bit of peace as well. So
Yeah, I would agree. The world is definitely looking for hope, and I love how you shared that just listening to even one song and pausing for a bit, like you would find peace just from listening to one song of the choir and focusing on that. And for the Hollywood Bowl, where you guys will be performing on June 24th and 25th, this is not the first time the choir has performed here at the Hollywood Bowl, right? It's performed twice. Uh, First time in 1926, so that's been 100 years.
yeah, that's really the one we're focusing on, right? We've been back since then, but when you look at 1926, so 100 years ago, almost to the month when we're there, 100 years since the choir first performed. This is back when they still had silent movies and the radio was still figuring out how to even be a regular thing for people, and the choir was out spreading a message of hope even back then. So yeah, it's very, very cool. Very cool to be back in that very iconic venue.
Yeah, and it's the Hollywood Bowl. I feel like is also known for a lot of musicians and a lot of singers for being such a big place to perform at, and it's super exciting to have the Tabernacle Choir perform there again and to bring their own music to what is already such a big place to perform at. What
Yeah,
do you,
absolutely. Very iconic venue.
yeah, what is, I guess, for the focus of the message being songs of hope, I guess what do you guys hope to bring? I believe a sense of hope and peace, but what else can you guys imagine people might feel listening to this concert?
Yeah, I think this is a unique blend of a lot of things. So we'll start off by saying it's a benefit concert. So all ticket revenue will be donated to charities that we've worked closely with the Relief Society on that care for women and children worldwide. Um, the church will match that, so everything that's raised will be doubled. Um, and so that's a new aspect. We haven't normally done anything like that. And so we're using our opportunity here to not just have a concert, but to do some good in the world that way. We've invited a bunch of friends to come and be part of this as well. So it should be very celebratory and very entertaining at the same time. We've got Donny Osmond, David Foster, Catherine McPhee, Stephanie J. Block, Sebastian Arcellus, and now the Bonner family joining us. So we've got just a great mix of people that have worked with the choir or touched the choir at some point in their life. Some have worked with us at Christmas, others we've done projects for them, or been able to work with family members or individuals. But they all have a kind of a bit of a friendship already with the choir. So we're just to bring all of them as well for quite a historic evening. Like I said, there'll be quite a mix, right? We work with these guest artists. They bring some of the great things that they do, uh, but intermixed with all of that are incredible songs of hope. I mean, when you look at the messages that are in the songs that the choir sings, I like to say that they're all testifying, right? This is a way for them to almost share their testimony, but through song. And that's why people feel something when they come. It's not just music performed for the sake of performance. These are consecrated individuals who are incredibly good at what they do. But part of the reason that they do it is to help bring others to Christ. And so that's their desire, and that's what gets amplified as they go about doing their work, which is performing and singing for others. So it's great. It's great to see how this affects people's lives as we've taken this throughout the world. You can imagine. I mean, there's some people in other countries where they didn't think the choir would ever be there. We've been places where the choir has never been, and to hear the choir, like in some of these other countries, hear the choir sing in, let's say, their native language is just amazing what it does for them. And so bringing kind of all that we've learned over the last 3.5 years to the Hollywood Bowl, and then bringing our friends with us to be a part of that, it's going to be an incredible 2 nights.
Yeah, it'll be super exciting to have this performance. And like you said, it's more than just music. Like these are consecrated individuals, like you said, who are the sole purpose of singing is to help bring others to Christ. Is there one song or one moment that you especially have enjoyed in seeing these concerts throughout the world?
I think so. I'll give you a specific one. We've kind of done it a couple of times since, but when we were in Peru, um, we were in the national soccer stadium. 34,000 people in Peru were in that soccer stadium that night. Um, and Fonseca, huge Latin artist in that area, came out on stage with a single guitar, a guy playing guitar, and he started singing, "I'm a Child of God." And the place just, lit up, and they all started singing along. In fact, to the point where he just stopped, held the microphone out towards the audience, and they just kept going. Um, for them to hear such a beloved song sung by somebody they weren't expecting, to sing that and to have the choir backing that was incredible. And we've been able to do that a couple of times because it was such a huge deal. But that's probably been one of my favorite moments. You can't help but um, feel something when that song is sung, especially in that way. So yeah, incredible moments like that are very, very cool.
Yeah, that's beautifully said. And people can go buy tickets at hollywoodbowl.com, right?
Yep. And there's still tickets, very affordable tickets left. It's a big venue, so there's still good seats and still um, an opportunity for people to participate if they'd like to. So we encourage anybody that wants to make the trip or knows anybody out that direction to encourage them to go. That would be great.
Yeah, that would be super exciting. And like you said, this is a historic and wonderful concert that um, is worth attending. Again, it's on June 24th and 25th. And like you said, there will be some special guest artists, and those will help sing some songs as well as the Tabernacle Choir. So this will be a night to remember. And like you said, it will be one of hope.
Yes. Yep. It'll be incredible evening. Um, yeah, we just hope people will come and be a part of it. So, but thank you.
I'm Abrielle Millett for BYU-Idaho Radio, and today I've been here on the phone with the Tabernacle Choir of Temple Square marketing director Kelly Taylor about the Hollywood concert that the choir will be seen at on June 24th and 25th. Thank you so much, Kelly Taylor, for talking to me about the concert and the choir as a whole and what to expect. It's been wonderful to talk to you.
Thanks for having me.